am recovering from about a week of being under the weather. I'm still a little bit stuffed, but I got enough energy to do this episode. So, welcome back to another episode of ABH, a book high. We are currently reading Think and Grow Rich. Previous video was chapter 2. It's talking about desire. Basically, before anything, you have to have a deep rooted want for something. This next chapter, chapter 3, is on faith. Now, while I was prepping to do this, I realized that I can't approach this chapter the same way I feel like I can approach most chapters. Like usually the way we do this is I highlight everything and then I give my interpretation on what I think they meant and how I take the information, how I'm using it. But when I was reading this chapter on faith, I realized it's more tied into the reader's belief. Like I felt like me trying to translate this information is almost like someone trying to translate religion to someone, right? Basically, I feel like you reading this chapter based on what you believe in and where you are is how you would get the most from this chapter, not from me just telling you what I think. So instead of that way, I'm just going to read what I highlighted, but the highlighted material is to aid in you making the decision for yourself. Does that make sense? So I hope I explained that well. I was trying to figure out how I would say it in my head. So basically, this isn't my personal opinion. I'm just going to read things that they said verbatim that I feel like would aid in where you would believe, what you would believe in, how you would go about believing in it. But I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you like this is what should be taken from the chapter or this is what it means or that, because I feel like each person, this specific chapter is different. So I hope that makes sense. Yeah, and if you miss chapter 2, I put a card in the video. You can check that out with the intro. There's a whole playlist where you can just where you'll be able to catch all the videos and everything else. So, let's get started, right? Think and Grow Rich, chapter 3. Faith, they have it listed as the second step toward riches. Faith is the head chemist of the mind. When faith is blended with the vibration of thought, the subconscious mind instantly picks up the vibration, translates it into its spiritual equivalent, and transmits it to infinite intelligence, as in the case of prayer. Love, faith are psychic, related to the spiritual side of man. Sex is purely biological and related only to the physical. The mixing or blending of these three emotions has the effect of opening a direct line of communication between the finite thinking mind of man and infinite intelligence. Faith is a state of mind which may be induced or created by affirmation or repeated instructions to the subconscious mind through the principle of autosuggestion. The method by which one develops faith where it does not already exist is extremely difficult to describe, almost as difficult, in fact, as it would be to describe the color of red to a blind man who has never seen color and has nothing with which to compare what you describe to him. So this is actually a great point to how I started this show off. And it says faith is a state of mind which you may develop at will. So the method by which one develops faith where it does not already exist is extremely difficult to describe, right? It's like trying to tell a blind man what red is and they've never seen color. So like that's kind of what I was getting at. Like it's not really my place to like try to show you faith or tell you what faith is if it's not something that's in you, right? I couldn't translate it to you. So it's funny I actually highlighted that because that's kind of what I was getting at. I'm just reading off what I feel like is the information to help you make your own decision. So that's funny I highlighted that. That's great. Repetition of affirmation of orders to your subconscious mind is the only known method of voluntary development of the emotion of faith. So it says, perhaps the meaning may be made clearer through the following explanation as to the way men sometimes become criminals, stated in the words of a famous criminologist. When men first come into contact with crime, they abhor it. If they remain in contact with crime for a time, they become accustomed to it and endure it. If they remain in contact with it long enough, they finally embrace it and become influenced by it. This is the equivalent of saying that any impulse of thought which is repeatedly passed on to the subconscious mind is finally accepted and acted upon by the subconscious mind, which proceeds to translate that impulse into its physical equivalent by the most practical procedure available. I'm gonna say it every video. I love books that give examples that hit home like that. It's basically saying that if you are around something, if you speak, if you believe something, and you create that energy, eventually it will translate itself into its physical form, whichever path makes sense. So for a criminal, you're around crime, you see crime, you talk about crime, eventually it will manifest itself into criminal activity. And the belief in this chapter is that the same goes for something positive. If you surround yourself by smart people or hardworking people and you're around it, eventually you will translate something from your hard work wherever you're aiming that, right? So I thought that was a great metaphor for what they're trying to say. And to add on to that, perfection will come through practice. It cannot come by merely reading instructions. So again, it takes action. Just like anything else in life, it takes action. You can read this book, you can have all the information, but if you're not practicing it, if you're not applying the steps and the rules, then it's merely just words in a book. You have to apply, you have to take action consistently if you want to see results. The foregoing sentence is worth reading a second time, and a third and a fourth is worth reading aloud. Faith is the starting point of all accumulation of riches. Faith is the basis of all miracles and all mysteries which cannot be analyzed by the rules of science. Faith is the only known antidote for failure. Faith is the element, the chemical, which when mixed with prayer gives one direct communication with infinite intelligence. Faith is the element which transforms the ordinary vibration of thought created by the finite mind of man into the spiritual equivalent. Faith is the only agency through which the cosmic force of infinite intelligence can be harnessed and used by man. It is a well-known fact that one comes finally to believe whatever one repeats to oneself, whether the statement be true or false. I thought this was very important. If a man repeats a lie over and over, he will eventually accept the lie as truth. Moreover, he will believe it to be the truth. Every man is what he is because of the dominating thoughts which he permits to occupy his mind. Powerful. Basically, whether it's positive or negative, whatever you allow to occupy your mind will become your reality. So think about that. Think about what you spend time thinking about what you allow to grow in your mind, what you allow to constantly show up day after day after day. Is it something positive? Is it something negative? Is it something forward thinking? Is it something, victim? Is it blaming? Is it accusing? Or is it taking accountability? Is it growing? Is it creating? Is it developing? Whatever you allow to consistently occupy your mind will become your reality. I thought that was great. The ether is a great cosmic mass of eternal forces of vibration. It is made up of both destructive vibrations and constructive vibrations. It carries at all times vibrations of fear, poverty, disease, failure, and misery, and vibrations of prosperity, health, success, and happiness. Just as surely as it carries the sound of hundreds of orchestrations of music and hundreds of human voices, all of which maintain their own individuality and means of identification through the medium of radio. From the great storehouse of the ether, the human mind is constantly attracting vibrations which harmonize with that which dominates the human mind. So it's basically saying the ether contains everything: negative, positive, good, bad. Whatever's dominating your mind, it's going to attract. So while it's giving you a positive reinforcement that, hey, you get control of that mind, you can attract what you want. But at the same time, it's also warning you that if you allow that mind to be littered, if you allow that mind to be robbed, if you allow that mind to be consumed with evil, it's also there as well. You get what I'm saying? So thought that was amazing. But can you see, based off previous chapters, why this is, some people look at this on some mythical, magical wizardry stuff. Some people understand manifestation. Some people understand the power of the mind. Some people understand vibrations. There are people who understand this, but there are others who are very skeptical of this. So that's why I said I wouldn't read this as a way of this is what it is. I'm just bringing awareness to it, and then you can read within the context. It has amazing stories to kind of drive home all these points, but it would take more than this chapter, I would think, to kind of really understand it if you want to. Like I say, I've read previous books that kind of talks about manifestation, that talks about vibrations, and talk about law of attraction and all that. So like me reading this kind of just reiterates things that I've already decided that I was going to believe, right? Coming in, if you're not familiar with this, you know, it could throw you off, but at the same time, if you come in with an open mind, you know, it could take you places. So then the next page has what they're calling the self-confidence formula. So like the previous chapter where there was 6 steps, basically writing out a definite plan and repeating that plan twice a day. This is a formula, another thing to understand, to memorize, and to consume your mind with, right? So it goes, first, I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action towards its attainment, and I here and now promise to render such action. Second, I realize the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture of that person. So in this case, it's saying for 30 minutes, you will concentrate your thoughts to focus on who you want to become, where you want to be. What does that person look like? What does that person do daily to become that thing? And that's what you're going to put in your mind. Third, I know through the principle of autosuggestion, any desire that I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek expression through some practical means of attaining the object back of it. Therefore, I will devote 10 minutes daily to demanding of myself the development of self-confidence. Self-explanatory. Fourth, I have clearly written down a description of my definite chief aim in life, which was chapter 2, and I will never stop trying until I shall have developed sufficient self-confidence for its attainment. Fifth, finally, I fully realize that no wealth or position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. Therefore, I will engage in no transaction which does not benefit all whom it affects. I will succeed by attracting to myself the forces I wish to use and the cooperation of other people. I will induce others to serve me because of my willingness to serve others. I will eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, and cynicism by developing love for all humanity, because I know that a negative attitude towards others can never bring me success. I will cause others to believe in me because I will believe in them and myself. Again, another thing to be actionable on, and I said this in the first chapter, this can be applied to anything, right? And that's why I say I like books where I can apply them to anything. You can read this just to be a better person. You don't have to try to go attain money. You don't have to be trying to start a YouTube channel. You don't have to be trying to be the biggest entrepreneur. This is just great information to speak into yourself. If for no other reason than just existing, why wouldn't you want to have this in your subconscious dominating your mind and becoming this person? Why wouldn't you want to spend 30 minutes thinking about a better version of yourself? Why wouldn't you want to spend 10 minutes trying to develop self-confidence? Why wouldn't you want to tell yourself that you're going to serve others so they can serve you? You won't have any jealousy. You're going to be a great, this is just a great thing to do, right? So that's why I thought that was just something amazing to share. And that is something I did not have written down that I wasn't doing. I was doing things from chapter 2, but now I'm going to start adding this from chapter 3 and repeating this as well, doing the 10 minutes and the 30 minutes. But again, I just thought this was amazing outside of just the faith chapter or the Think and Grow Rich, that this is just something that I think people should just be doing in general. Just make better human beings overall. A lot of reading this chapter. I would choose the chapter where I'm getting dry throat and a stuffy nose to read a lot. It's funny. The subconscious mind makes no distinction between constructive and destructive thought impulses. It works with the material we feed it through our thought impulses. The subconscious mind will translate into reality a thought driven by fear just as readily as it will translate into reality a thought driven by courage or faith. The subconscious works with the material we feed it, driving home the point that you must feed the mind great things. You must allow great things, positive things to grow in the mind. That's what you have to feed it. You must make an effort to get rid of negative thoughts, to get rid of thoughts that aren't serving you, because it's going to translate regardless. It's saying it's unbiased. It doesn't know the difference. It just knows the energy. So if there's fear or if there's faith, it will work. It gives points to saying like, hey, if you're constantly thinking things ain't gonna work, or you're cursed, or it's never me, I never win, it's always gonna skip me, my shit's not gonna work. It's like that's what you're feeding it, and it's gonna translate. You get what I'm saying? That's basically what this chapter is saying, relaying. It's like, hey, speak life, be positive, believe you're gonna win, believe you are the one, believe that your stuff matters, believe that your life matters. Make a conscious effort to fill the mind with positive, uplifting, loving thoughts and energy. Like the wind which carries one ship east and another west, the law of autosuggestion will lift you up or pull you down according to the way you set your cells of thoughts. I'm telling you, you're gonna realize there's a running theme in this book. It's the mindset. And then they had a poem or a verse, and it goes, if you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you like to win, but you think you can't, it is almost certain you won't. If you think you'll lose, you're lost. For out of the world we find success begins with the fellow's will. It's all in the state of mind. If you think you are outclassed, you are. You've got to think high to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win a prize. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man, but soon or late, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. Yeah. Amazing. And I think that's how I ended this. Yeah. The rest of this is a lot of just stories. A lot of stories driving home this whole point. I like the way the book sets it up. It gives you all the information, and then gives you a lot of stories to back up all the information, like to allow you to have faith and to believe. And it ends the chapter with both poverty and riches are the offspring of thought. Both poverty and riches are the offspring of thought. So, the mindset, faith, belief, desire. Next chapter is autosuggestion. Train the mind. Spend time training the mind. Chapter 2 says, write out a definite plan. Repeat that. Chapter 3 says, take 30 minutes to think about that person, who you want to be, how that's going to look. What do you think you have to do to get there? What does that person look like? How does he or she speak? What do they wear? How do they carry themselves? Really put time in scoping that person, and take 10 minutes to work on your self-confidence. And then repeating those statements, and just, it's feeding the mind, man. Each chapter, each thing, I would say the takeaway is feed your mind. And I'm telling you this as a person that is practicing that, right? I told you I have the Calm app now. Shouts out to my insurance. We get the premium Calm for free every morning. I do the 10-minute Calm app. I sit, it works on your breathing. It tells you it's always a lesson involved, but you're sitting still, you're starting your morning off, and then I'm practicing these other things. But there's not one person right now that's going to tell me that this is not going to work, that my YouTube channel is not going to work, that my career that I want to go with books and writing books and making children's books and creating children's channels and children's YouTube and no one's going to tell me that's not going to work. I don't believe it's not going to work. I know what I look like. I know what my future self looks like that's going to be doing all those things. I just believe it. I have no doubt. None. Even when I post these videos and they don't do the numbers, we all start somewhere. You have to start. First you have to start, and then you have to be consistent and continue. And while being consistent and continue, you have to see where you can opportunities to grow and get better. But on the same path. Don't change it up. Don't switch it up. Find something you like and run with it. It'll take you places. Have faith. Chapter 3. This was tough. Breathing through my mouth most of the time. Nose running. I didn't bring any water up. My throat's getting dry and scratchy. But job had to get done. This was way better. I tried to do this yesterday, and it didn't work out as I wanted it to. But thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I got to start shouting out my stuff. YouTube, Watch Julian. It's Julian with 2 L's, Julian. TikTok, Watch Julian. TikTok is, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, be sure to check out other videos if you want to catch up on the book. And Think and Grow Rich, Faith, Chapter 3. I will see y'all at the next episode. I'm out of here.